Every book in the world must have an author, and the Qur'an is no exception. It is a book, so it must have an author. All Muslims believe that God is the one who revealed the Qur'an to Prophet Muhammad. However, those who do not share this belief think otherwise. But who do they think wrote the Qur'an? If they don't believe that the Qur'an is from God, then who is it from? There are not many options, since Muhammad dictated the words to his companions, the scribes of Wahi, to write it down. Therefore, if they don't think it's from God, it should be one of these four options because there isn't any other possibility. 1. Prophet Muhammad authored the Qur'an himself. 2. He used previous books like the Bible or the Torah to write the Qur'an. 3. A Christian or a Jewish person helped Muhammad to write the Qur'an. 4. It was Satan who helped him to write the Qur'an and inform him about the events of former nations he hadn't witnessed. In this video, we will examine these possibilities one by one. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like the video to make sure you don't miss out on similar content. If you're ready, let's get started. Our first claim is that the assertion is that Muhammad himself wrote the Qur'an. To explore this, we will examine his lifestyle, personality, prophecies, and the language of the Qur'an, the style of writing. We know how the Prophet spoke and his style, as we have thousands of Hadith books, sayings of the Prophet books. It is clear that the style of the Hadith is distinct from the style of the Qur'an. Warning the Prophet in the Qur'an. The Qur'an contains verses where the Prophet is warned for certain actions. If the Prophet wrote the Qur'an, why would he warn himself? Prophecies. The Qur'an contains many prophecies that came true during the Prophet's time. How could he have known future events? Predicting incorrectly would risk his status among his companions. Delay of revelations. In certain situations, the revelation was delayed. If the Prophet were writing the Qur'an, he could have conveniently provided answers immediately. Challenge in the Qur'an. The Qur'an challenges anyone who doesn't believe it to produce something like it. Why would the Prophet risk such a challenge if he authored it himself? Personal information. The Qur'an contains no personal information about the Prophet, his life, his children, or his wives. His name is mentioned only 4 times, much less than other prophets like Moses, who is mentioned 134 times. If the Prophet wrote the Qur'an, why wouldn't he give himself more credit or talk about his struggles? 2. Using previous books like the Bible or the Torah, the Prophet was illiterate and couldn't read or write. Moreover, the first Arabic translation of the Bible was made in the 9th century, long after the Prophet's death. The Bible was not readily available, especially not in Arabic at that time. Language and cultural differences. The Torah and the Bible were written in different languages and emerged in different cultural contexts. The Torah was written in Hebrew and the Bible in Greek and Aramaic. The Qur'an, on the other hand, was written in Arabic and originated within the Arab culture. These differences in language and culture make it difficult to directly take and translate the texts. Content and style differences. The content and style of the Qur'an are distinctly different from those of the Torah and the Bible. The Qur'an has its own unique structure and narrative style. Additionally, it contains many teachings and laws that are not found in the Torah and the Bible. Qur'an claims. In the Qur'an, God says that if this book is not from him, then produce a similar one or bring forth its equivalent. If it was taken from the Torah and the Bible, then produce something similar yourself. By saying this, he has challenged non-Muslims of all ages who claim that it was written by humans. Until now, any book produced has been a mere copy of the Qur'an, attempting to mimic its language. Therefore, someone copying the Qur'an has actually proven its originality. Instead of producing a similar Qur'an from other sources, they have tried to bring forth the Qur'an using its words and style, resulting in a rather ridiculous and meaningless book. They shamelessly presented this, but serious individuals have never been able to bring it up in any era and have remained silent in response to the Qur'an's challenge. Third, a Christian or a Jewish person helped the Prophet. The only documented encounter between the Prophet and a Christian is with Waraka ibn Nawfal, which happened after the revelation began. Waraka even testified that Muhammad was a prophet. How could a Christian or a Jew have helped him write verses that contradict their beliefs? How could a Christian or a Jew have known that the Qur'an would accurately predict future events? If they had known these things, they should have been written in their own holy books or in secondary sources. However, many of the future events foretold by the Qur'an are not mentioned in other scriptures. How could a Christian or a Jew have known this? For example, when the Byzantines were at their lowest point, how could they, as the Qur'an claimed, defeat the Persian Empire within 10 years? The Byzantine emperor was on the verge of being captured while fleeing Istanbul, yet the Qur'an predicted that the Byzantines would emerge victorious. Those who heard this and did not believe were very pleased and said that now everyone would see that the Qur'an was lying, proving it was not the word of God. However, at the end of 10 years, the Byzantines achieved an unexpected historic victory. 4. Satan helped the Prophet. This is highly illogical since Muslims are taught to seek refuge from Satan before reciting the Qur'an. The Qur'an also declares Satan as a mortal foe. Why would Satan help the Prophet write verses that curse him and expose his plans to tempt humans? Can you imagine a devil who commands performing the 5 daily prayers, cleaning oneself with water beforehand, helping others, giving 1/40 of one's wealth to the poor every year, and giving charity to protect the needy at every opportunity? Can you think of a devil who prohibits adultery? Which devil would ban alcohol and gambling? Which devil would advocate sharing, hospitality, doing good deeds, and believing in all the previous prophets? Which devil would remember these prophets with reverence? Can you imagine a devil talking about the transience of this world and saying that thinking about death and God is the right thing to do? If your answer is yes, you might be calling God the devil and the devil God. If not, let's continue. Since all these possibilities are implausible, we are left with the only viable conclusion. The Qur'an is from God, the one with unlimited omniscient knowledge. To end, let us reflect on God's words addressing those who deny the Qur'an. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new today. If you did, please like and share the video for others to learn from it, and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next time.